I couldn't agree more. And I wouldn't think of it as what's the best exercise. Think about it as like, what's the outcome you're looking for? So I'm a big fan of prep and prehab, whatever you want to call it, for a number of reasons. Like if you take your chronic presentations, again, athletic groin pain is something I have a lot of experience in treating. They just get so much inhibition in around the hip joint itself. So inhibition is probably going to drive loss of range. You know, when they do go into the warm-up, then they don't feel good. They probably haven't fully, and again, I don't like the word activate, but it's a big word, but like they probably haven't recruited those muscles around the hip well enough before they start the session. And the session, maybe the warm-up from the S&C isn't going to obviously be specific enough to really tailor for their needs. So it's a massive thing. They'll feel great after it. They'll get instantaneous range change, which we know is a big factor in something like athletic groin pain. If you're stiff into internal rotation range, you're going to load through the pubic symph more, you're going to load through the anterior hip more. So it's vital for stuff like that. It's also a really smart way to microdose smaller strength work, if you want to call it, across the week. For example, again, I'm just going to use athletic groin pain as an example, but you know, the typical places that we see they're weak, maybe through the abs, hip flex or lateral hip, in all these specific ranges and positions. And when they get to the point when they're quite good, most people kind of fall off the wagon with that type of stuff. So rather than having it all in the gym program, maybe where you can focus on the bigger rocks, if they're doing like 2 sets of each exercise pre-training 3 times a week, then across the week we're actually accumulating a nice bit of additional volume in those smaller muscles around the hip. So it's actually a really smart way to get some lower level strength and capacity stuff in. It's not going to fatigue them massively. They're going to feel better after it. And then the other one, obviously, if you take an ankle, if we can get an instantaneous improvement in knee to wall range and someone has a chronic Achilles tendinopathy or tib post tendinopathy or history of stress, bone stress injuries, then that's a very quick win for us if we can get 2-3 centimeters. And ultimately for us as physios, like the way I think about it is like I always want to keep everybody out in the field